federal grand jury has indicted him for allegedly transporting undocumented migrants. Now, that sounds like it could have several different charges.
Right. I mean, there's different laws in different states about what is transporting and harboring. Like in Texas, there's a harboring law that says if you have the intention to hide an immigrant, then you can be in trouble for harboring. So an example would be if you have someone in your car as a passenger, that shouldn't be a violation of the law. But if you hide that person under a blanket when the police pull you over, then that could tip the scales. So I think, it's one of these, we don't know which law it is. We don't know the facts or anything. And I don't know, maybe, this is what they needed to do to provide sort of cover for the Trump administration, like, oh, we've indicted him and then we're re-extraditing or whatever the word would be to bring him back, and that's how they do this and save face. But at the end of the day, he was wrongfully deported to El Salvador, and he's being brought back.
Well,
I
think the wording's important here. He wasn't wrongfully deported. He was just undocumentedly deported. I think it was an undocumented deportation.
It was absolutely wrong, and here's why.
They just didn't have the right documents. It was the right thing to do. They just didn't have the documents.
No, wrong. He had something called withholding of removal, which is like asylum. It's a protection that you get before a judge. I've done many of these cases in court. It's very hard to win withholding. You have to have evidence. You have to go before a judge. You have to be subject to cross-examination. It is not an easy thing. And withholding of removal is an order of a judge that says that this person cannot be returned to the country that they seek protection from because they are at risk. And that's what he had. So he had a court order saying he could not be returned to El Salvador, and that's what the Trump administration did. I think in error, maybe. It doesn't really matter. They did it, and then they refused to bring him back, and now they're bringing him back. And that's, I think, what is worthy of celebrating, is that wrong has at least been righted, and we'll see what happens with his treatment now. But anyway, I think it's good news.
Well, we're talking with Kate Lincoln-Goldfinch. She's an immigration attorney with Lincoln-Goldfinch Law. You don't appreciate my sarcasm there, because they're bringing him back here to run through this whole rigmarole so they can get the document that says we can legally deport him now. So he's just an undocumented deportee.
Well, we'll see what they do. I mean, the thing is, actually, somebody with withholding can theoretically be removed to a different country. The protection is only against El Salvador. So, I mean, I think shenanigans are to be expected, but the one country that he can't be sent to is El Salvador under court order.
We should send him to Canada then. All right.
Well, I mean, he might not be too mad about that.
Hey, Lincoln-Goldfinch, what happens to his legal spouse during all this?
Who knows? She maybe gets to go and visit him, hopefully.
Well, I just as an immigration attorney, you obviously have dealt with people in a similar situation, and what happens to because I do have concern with his wife's an American citizen, if I remember correctly, right?
That's right.
So what's the process like if you're an American citizen and you're married to an illegal and you get caught in one of these deportation battles?
It's complicated. It really depends on the immigrant's history and whether they are eligible for a green card and which avenue they take and whether they need a waiver and whether they have to wait. So a lot of that is, not known, but he would not be someone immediately eligible for an easy green card based on his history. That's
right.
For sure.
Well, Kate Lincoln-Goldfinch, let's say he goes to trial, he gets convicted of some serious crimes. Does he have to do his time here and then he gets deported? How does that work?
Yeah. Yep. When an immigrant who is up for deportation is convicted or sentenced to jail time, they serve their time in the U.S. and then they go before ICE and the deportation occurs.
What do you think is going to happen?
I would be surprised if they had real strong evidence against him for a conviction, but I don't know. I mean, we're going to have to wait and see. I'm not going to guess this one. I'm not a betting woman.
No, hey, that's all right. If you don't know, there's an honor in admitting that I don't know how this is going to end up either, Kate. So your guess is probably a little bit better than mine.